welcome to another episode of ArtistnMore Experience, the show where we dive into the mindsets, the experiences, and the cultures of some of the most influential artists, creators, and achievers. We have an amazing guest today, and honestly, you're going to love this amazing man. He is a senior lecturer, an author, a preacher, and a transformational speaker based in Auckland, New Zealand, often known as the Purpose Preacher. His mandate is to help people to discover their purpose so that they can maximize their potential towards a fulfilled, influential, and impact life to the glory of God. An international sought-after speaker, he has been privileged to consult for corporate organizations, as well as speak on various platforms, including churches, independently organized conferences, and has even been on a talk and a TED show, which he had the privilege to speak about his mandate on the value of purpose. Could we please welcome Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. Sir, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for coming on this show. We are so privileged.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, honestly, I'm so excited to have you here because I've been waiting to do this for such a long time, and just to hear you speak, and not only that, to have people to listen to what you have to say. So thank you so much, and I'm really excited to get going. So I first want to ask, how are you and how's everything on your end?
Thank you very much, Derek. It's a privilege, a pleasure, and a joy to be here. You have a special place in my heart, you know, and it's such a joy that we are finally able to get to do this. And of course, I am very pleased that your audience will get to watch this and someone's life will change. So to answer your question, I am very well, thank you. I just finished a session with my wife as well. So family is fine and everything is great. How are you too, Derek?
Oh, by grace, I'm very, very well, thank you. I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm very, very well. Thank you so much. Now, we're very, very excited to start with this, and we are going to be speaking on the amazing topic of understanding, maximizing, and releasing potential with purpose. For me, this is definitely a topic that I myself have been really wanting to learn and really wanting to get to know. So having you speak a lot about it is definitely something which we're really, really looking forward to. So I wanted to get off with the first question on the way, and that is, what is purpose? You know, I know a lot of people speak about that idea of, oh, I have a purpose, or people are just really wanting to know what that whole essence of what purpose is. So just to get that, because we all know you as the purpose preacher, and I feel that you'll be the best person to explain the idea of what purpose is, and why why should we focus so much on it? Why is it significant?
Wow, very, very powerful question you've asked, Derek. Purpose is the original intention in the heart of the creator of anything for creating that thing. I have an iPad here, and this iPad was created by somebody, or this iPad, first of all, the idea came into the heart and mind of somebody, a man named Steve Jobs, okay? And he had this powerful idea that one day people will be able to carry a computer in their hands in a very small sized shape like this. And of course, at first it was crazy because people said the iPad was not going to sell, right? But it's the manufacturer himself that knew what he saw. And that's why that's so important for creating that product. The success of that product is tied to the mind and the intention, the original intention of the manufacturer. Because if you use it the way the manufacturer has not intended it to be used, you are likely to destroy the iPad. That's why we often say that without purpose, if you don't know your purpose, abuse is inevitable, right? So when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. If you don't know the purpose for the creation of your life, you will abuse your life. So you need to find out the intention, the original intention of your creator before creating you, so that you can use your life, spend your life the exact way it was intended to be spent or to be used. I hope that answered that question.
Wow. Yes, that is amazing. That is incredible. And I found that definitely that example of using an iPad and even anything in life, when anything is created, there is a purpose around it. And
absolutely. In fact, can I quickly just give an example I normally give? I give this on my TEDx talk. Just imagine with me really for a second, right? Imagine if I put some vegetables, some onions, some pepper, garlic, and so on, and I put it on this iPad right now, right? And I get a very sharp knife, Derek, get a very sharp knife, and I begin to slice the onions and the garlic and the pepper, and I just begin to slice. If you happen to pass by, or maybe I'm doing that on this live stream right now, and you're watching me do that, what names would you call me? Probably say this guy must be, sick, mad. You call me all kinds of names. Is he suffering from some kind of mental, because you know the purpose of the iPad, Derek. That's why you doing is abnormal. You know that the iPad is not to be used to cut vegetables, right? Same way. Okay, would it be okay if we see somebody abusing their lives, living their lives recklessly, and not living it according to the purpose of the Creator? Is it okay to call them mad?
Wow.
Stupid, crazy, thinking they have some mental problems? Why? Because they are abusing their lives. You watching us right now, if you're not living your life according to the dictate of your Creator, according to the intention of your Creator, you are living a crazy life, literally a mad, and stupid life.
Wow. If you are not living according to the mandate and to the purpose that you have, you are living a crazy life. Wow, that is
very, very crazy
to think about. That is amazing. And for me, I feel this is definitely a big thing, because I've been even asking myself, and it's something which I had to pray about to find. We all know that, in order to find your purpose, you must, of course, know your source. And so for anybody who is wondering about that, what is the source? How do I find that? Where does that come from? Please tell us a little bit about that. Where does people find out the source, where they can find their purpose? Because a manufacturer, as you said, a manufacturer is the person who prepares the purpose and bestows the purpose on the person. So they must be the source. But who is the source of us, as humans, so that we are able to know who, we are supposed to reference to in terms of finding our purpose?
Very good question. Very, very good question. See, I remember I heard a story about a man called Michelangelo, right? Most people know him, world-renowned artist, all right, dead now, world-renowned artist. They said every time he sees a tree, a log of wood, they said he would walk around that log of wood for days, just picturing in his mind what he was going to do and create out of that log of wood. And of course, by the time he settles that thing in his mind, he was ready to actually start doing something. The point I'm trying to make is God is like an artist, just like Michelangelo. God took his time, thoughtfully, carefully, thought about you, thought about what he was going to make out of your life before he created you. And then he then went to work. So usually, everything created was created twice. First in the mind of the Creator, your source, and then in reality. So God is your source. I love the words of the Bible in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. Very powerful scripture. And many people quote it and they just run by it. But it's something I want you to read and read slowly. And I'll read it slowly right now. It says, "For I know." That's God speaking. For I know. Your parents don't know. Your teachers don't know. Your friends don't know.
Oh.
God only knows. For I know the thoughts. See, one thing about thoughts, Derek, is nobody knows your thoughts. Only you know your thoughts. Am I making sense to you, Derek?
Yes, sir.
Only you know your thoughts. Like we're speaking right now, you're thinking some things about me, thinking some things about this live stream, and so on. I can't read your thoughts. I don't know your thoughts. The same way, the thoughts of God are His. We don't know it, but I'll share with you a secret very soon. But let's finish that scripture. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, thought of peace, of good and not of evil, to give an expected end." In other words, my thoughts have finished your end before even you started the life. God's thought has reached the end of our lives before we even started to live. In that very same book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, he said to Jeremiah, he said, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Look at that word know again. We saw I know. He said again, before you were formed in the womb, I knew you. See, your life had been settled even before you were formed in the womb. Before your parents met, God had settled your life. Just like that Michelangelo story. God had walked around you in that log of wood for days. He had thought long and hard about what he was going to make out of you. See, your parents were only fulfilling the script. They were only fulfilling the script. That's why your success in life, listen, hear this. Your success in life has nothing to do with your parents. I'm going to say that again. Your success in life has nothing to do with your parents. It has a lot more to do, however, with God. That's why we see people who their parents died when they were young, yet they still make it gloriously and they are still successful. They become role models and mentors to other people. The point I'm trying to make is this. Your source is God. Only He knows what He has thought about you. Only He has a plan for you that really, really can mean your success. When you acknowledge your source, you will discover your purpose. You'll be able to get His intentions. The good news is God's intentions and God's thoughts can actually be revealed to us. The Bible says in the book of, I think 2 Corinthians chapter 2, it says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. It has not come to the heart of man what God has in store for them who love Him. But here, stop there. But it will be revealed to us by the Spirit of God. My goodness.
Wow.
The meaning is this. Until you connect with the Spirit of God, you can never know the thoughts of God. And if you don't know the thoughts of God, you can never live a life of purpose.
Wow.
So to live a life of purpose, to know your purpose, is to know the thoughts of God. To know the thoughts of God is to connect to His Spirit. To have His Spirit is to live a purposeful life. I hope that helps somebody.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
No.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I hope everyone is right now taking notes. I this is crazy. I've been writing as I am right now because this is absolutely amazing. And just the pure understanding, if you were able to get this and grasp everything, that God already knew you. He already planned for you. He crafted everything. And He made sure that you were born to succeed. And
born to succeed. Thank you for that.
Wow. In order for you to know what He has for you, you must connect to Him. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is
absolutely.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So, and I guess we've kind of explained a little bit about the next question. And as to when it comes to getting to your source, and I wanted you to go a bit deeper into that. And that is, a lot of people asking themselves, okay, right, I found my source, but what is next? What do I do? I now know where my purpose comes from. I know the source. But what is next? What must I now do in order to discover this purpose?
This purpose. This will help somebody. This will set someone free. See, God showed me 6 places to look to discover your purpose. 6 places to look. And all of them have something to do with God. All of them. So I'm not telling you this like many motivational speakers in the thought leadership industry. Some of my colleagues will tell you, go and carve out your own purpose and find your own truths and all of those rubbish. No, what I'm about to share with you will change your life. It is also connected to your source. See, 6 places to look to discover your purpose. You will never forget this that I'm sharing with you. Number 1 is to look up. When I say look up, I mean looking straight to God, your source, your manufacturer. We've established that already. He's your source. He's the one that has thought about you long and hard enough and had some intentions before creating you. When you go straight to God and you say, Lord, why have you created me? Like you literally go to God. Why? What were the thoughts you had before you created me? Derek, let me share with you a story and share with your audience as well. See, I happen to have a PhD at the age of 26. Since the age of 14, I wanted to be a professor. So I went on and on and on and on. I never worked until I got my PhD. So I I continued. I just finished bachelor's to master's to PhD straight away. So I got my PhD in 2012, 2013. After finishing the PhD, I started to feel empty on my inside because I hadn't discovered my purpose. I didn't know what my purpose was. Very empty on the inside. And I remember it wasn't until 2016 that I heard a message. I heard a pastor preach like this, that, like you're hearing and watching us right now, watching Derek and I right now. I listened to somebody speak and talked about how we could go to God to find our purpose. So I decided I was going to do a 3 days fast, and I started to fast, and I was praying long and hard, Father, and I was just praying one single prayer, Derek. One single prayer. What is my purpose? Why have you created me? So if somebody is watching this right now and you want to implement the lookup, okay, I'm still going to share 5 more with you. You want to implement the lookup, I suggest you take a 3-day fast, okay? And pray one single prayer. Please don't ask God to increase your salary. Don't ask God for the bills. Don't ask God to pay your mortgage. Just pray one single prayer. Say, Lord, why have you created me? Pray that prayer for the length of the times you're fasting. Why have you created me? Guess what, Derek? 16th of December 2016, God showed me, and he said to me, I heard it quite audibly, help people discover their purpose. That was the day my life changed. See, before that, I was running from pillar to post, just making motion, no progress, just doing all kinds of things, but no progress. I was void, no meaning, no significance, no influence, no impact. But the day I heard that word, help people discover their purpose, my life gained direction, gained significance, gained meaning, gained influence, and impact. You watching me right now, I need you to do the same. If you're a child of God and you hear God speak to you either through the scriptures or quite audibly like I did in 2016 and I'm still doing right now, you need to go to God. Apportion for yourself a 3 days fast and do the same thing. With singleness of heart, just pray one single prayer. Okay? Lord, why have you created me? Number 2 place to look is to look within. Derek, within every single human being are gifts. Gifts are things you did not work for. Gifts are things you did not pray for. Gifts are things that were inbuilt inside of you way before you were born. For some people, theirs is singing. For some people, theirs is writing. For some people, theirs is speaking. For some people, theirs is football. There is something you do that is a gift. You do it so with passion, with energy, with joy. And you can do it without being paid. You will literally do it from morning to night if nobody pays you. That is your gift. See, that is not ordinary. God gave you those gifts to do something in particular. He gave you that gift of speaking, of writing, of cooking, of playing football for something, for a specific purpose in particular. So when you look within you and find those things, you could get the cues to your purpose. Another thing to look within for is what I call your temperaments. See, temperaments are a combination of traits of your parents, right? Your mother and father. This is why I was telling you the other time, your parents were just actors in a script. I'm a sanguine, I'm a sanko, right? My dad is a sanguine, my mom is a choleric. Right? The two of them came together to make me a sanko. All right? And because of that, a sanguine is the life of the party, someone who with high energy. That's why I have so much high energy. Like literally, we could do this live stream till next year and I'll still be talking. We'll just be eating in between. Okay? Because that is my personality, that's my temperament. I've been built that way to serve you. I've been built that way to serve my generation. I've been built that way to impact my generation. The same way you two were built in a certain way with some features, with some talents, with some gifts to serve your generation, to serve your world, and even generations after. So you need to find out the things that are within you. But let me quickly share with you. I call it the dimension of God on your inside. There is a portion of God inside of every man. See, Derek, for some people, that portion is musical. For some people, that portion is photographical. For some people, that portion is cooking. For some people, that portion is speaking. For some people, that portion is art. For some people, that portion is teaching. See, listen, it means there is something you do at the level of capital G-O-D.
Wow.
I'm going to say that again. There is something, you watching us right now, there is something you do at the level of capital G-O-D, at the level of God. There is one thing, at least one thing about every man that we do at the level of the supernatural. Now, by the time you are done doing it, or people are watching you do it, they go, They go, like, are you human being? The truth is, whenever you are doing that thing, you are not a human being.
Wow.
It is God that is doing it through you. I call it the expression of God through you, through the dimension of himself in you. See, every time you see Messi and Ronaldo play soccer, you and I will go like, is this guy a human being? Because they are not the ones doing it. There is that dimension of God in their lives that they have discovered. It's rooted within them. They can't even help it. Anytime they see the ball, that dimension gravitates towards it. And they start to do things that are unusual. Things that you and I will try to copy, it will never work. You will try, you will just somersault and break your neck. It's because you are not gifted to do it. But that's why some people, they always cooking, Derek. And by the time these people begin to cook, see, they will even, you ask them for the recipe, they'll give you all the recipe. They will tell you, cook this one for 10 degrees and put this one for 15 minutes and put 2 teaspoons of salt. And add it. By the time you go and do it, you actually did it. You followed the template. You did it letter for letter, word for word, degree Celsius for degree Celsius. Your cooking cannot come out like this. It is not a curse. If you like, put iPad beside your stove and your gas and be trading, but it will not work. You know why? That person is cooking with an anointing.
Wow.
You are cooking with copycat. It does not work. This is why when you know this principle I am sharing with you, it's a recipe for confidence. It's a recipe for you never to compete with anybody in your life. When you understand this and I'm sharing with you, you will simply find the dimension of God in you, and it will make you feel special. You will have this overwhelming sense of importance, of significance, of influence, of impact, of purpose like never before. You will never compare yourself with anybody. But because of time, let's move on. And next place to look is to look around you. See, around you are problems that are always calling out your name. It's like they're always shouting, Derek, 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 Derek. You know, I know Derek is passionate about people discovering their potentials and maximizing. Every time you see a young guy or a young lady that is just living life recklessly, I'm sure it angers you. It gets you angry. Like, how can you not have a purpose in life? How can you be? The same thing for me. Whenever I see people who are just walking namelessly, wandering namelessly through life, I'm like, another thing is when I hear people are depressed or maybe they just committed suicide. That's why you see me write about suicide a lot. It grieves me in my spirit. But sometimes it's like my soul weeps for them. Why? Because something has been put inside of me to solve that problem. See, that's why I said there are problems around you that are always calling out your name. In fact, you take those problems personally. They become personal. Like, for instance, you could be watching us right now, and you just hate to see kids, kids not wearing clothes around you, or kids who are orphans, who just walk around the street around you. And it will grieve you. And you take it so personal. You start to tell your friends, can you imagine? What's the government doing about those kids? Do you know why? And your friends will be like, excuse me, why is it your problem? And you're like, no, it's my problem. It's my problem. You know why it's your problem? You know why you're taking it personal? It's because there's something inside of you to solve the problem. So when you look around you, for those problems that are constantly calling out your name, and they will never go away, it is a cue for you that is linked to your purpose. Another place to look is to look down. Down refers to the down moments of your life.
Wow.
Times that your story, absolutely, your story.
Wow.
Things that have happened in your life that you're not proud of. Listen, they happen because of where God is taking you. They happen because of, hear this, your story is your glory. God is not a waster of experiences. Everything that has happened to you negatively were allowed to happen to you. You needed to go through them because of the people you will bring through them. I'm going to say that again because I sense somebody did not get it. There are some things you've been through or you're currently going through that is linked to your purpose. In fact, let me shock you by saying this statement. And if you're watching this later, write this down. Anything that happened to you that you cannot change or that you could not have changed or didn't have power over, they are linked to your purpose. I'm going to say that again. Everything about you that you cannot change, that you have no power over, they are linked to your purpose. Very linked to your purpose. Whether you were molested when you were young, or you were raped when you were young, or you failed multiple times like I did. I failed twice. I repeated a whole year twice, and I still finished PhD at the age of 26. You know why God allowed that to happen? He allowed it to happen because of the people that I'm going to meet who would have failed many times. And because they failed, they are trying to give up. And God will bring me their way. And I will tell them, listen, your failure is part of your purpose. All you need to do is find your purpose, and your failures will make sense. Oh, somebody will be saying, Dr. Sam, how do you know this? The Bible says in the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 20, it says, and we know. Somebody say, and we know. And we know means you need to know. You need to know. And we know. That's why I don't like to rush to read scriptures. I love to read them one by one. And we know that all things work together for good, for those who love God. And listen, Derek, and are called according to his purpose. Oh my God. The simple explanation of that scripture is the day you discover your purpose, your failures, your molestations and harassment, everything will work together. Oh. You know the meaning of the word work together. Derek, let me explain what work together means, right? What's your favorite soup? You know, what do you like? What's your favorite soup?
Peanut soup.
Peanut soup, aha. You know, when we say something is working together, if you take ordinary peanuts and you start to eat peanuts alone, it will never give you the taste of the soup. Am I correct? Correct. If you start to take water and take each of the ingredients one by one and you put them in your mouth one by one, put pepper in your mouth, put peanut, put water, it will not, like, that's rubbish, right? You probably end up. But listen, work together means when you grind the peanut soup, the peanut itself, and you literally blend the pepper, and you put the water, and you put the pot on the stove, and you put the water on stove, and you boil it for a while, and you add the oil, and then after adding the oil, you put the salt. After putting the salt, you put the blended pepper, and you put everything together. And then you let it simmer on the stove. And then when it's done with that sweet smelling aroma, listen, if you had tasted the salt alone, you would have spitted it out of your mouth. If you tasted the pepper alone, you would have spitted it out of your mouth. If you tasted all of those things alone, they will make no sense. But when God decides to put your failure, your agony, your pain, your shame, your reproach, every single thing that you've been through, and He decides to put them together in a pot and decides to cook them for a while and let them simmer, and at a degree Celsius that is not necessarily palatable to you, but by the time it is done, your life begins to have this sweet aroma. And when He gives you out of it to taste, and you're like, wow, can my failures, my pain be ingredients of a delicious future? Not only that, He will now give it to other people to taste as well. Do you catch that? You catch that?
Yes, sir.
Your failures are now feeding other people. Your reproach is now feeding other people, feeding generations. But it was not just the failure alone. It combined everything together. That's what it means by, and we know that all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. When you find your purpose, everything you've been through, even your down moments, will work together. Because of time, next place to look is to look back. Down and back are almost similar, but back does not necessarily mean negative. There are some positive things that have happened to you in your past that are still connected to your purpose. See, when I was growing up, to the glory of God, my parents would play the VHS, right, which is more like the video CD, right? And the only thing my parents would play were TD Jakes, Reinhard Bonnke, RW Shambach, like all these great speakers. Every time I watched them, I would watch them and go, I want to be like that. I watched them so much that before the age of 11, the only thing I wanted to be was Reinhard Bonnke. To the point that when I'm not sure how it operates, where you grew up, but in Nigeria, then when you finish your common entrance to go into high school, you would have an interview. So I did an interview, and the man asked me, said, "What would you like to be in the future?" I said, "I want to be Reinhard Bonnke." unfortunately, at that time, I was speaking to a man who was a Muslim, who had no idea who Ray Bunky was. Didn't write anything down on my interview transcripts. So when everybody else were getting their own results and being posted to school, I was posted to nowhere because I wanted to be Ray Bunky. So by the time my parents found out, and I went to the office and said, why is our son not posted? Why other kids are posted? They said, because your son wanted to be Ray Bunky and we don't have any. We don't have anything like that. The point I'm trying to make is this. When you look into your past, look at the things that used to interest you when you were growing up. Maybe you were growing up, you loved to fix cars. Maybe when you were growing up, you just loved to speak. Maybe when you were growing up, you loved to cook. That desire that you had as a child, but people have told you to shut up. They've silenced the hero in you as a child. And because of that, you learn to live life in a normal way. What's a normal way? Normal way is get a job like everybody else, get married like everybody else, do things like everybody else. You run the rat race like everybody else. That's a life that lacks significance, a life that lacks impact. Your impact is tied to that thing, those things that interest you as a child. Somebody who's watching me right now and you're being delivered right now. I remember doing one of my purpose discovery workshop in a church. I went to a church and I was doing it. I normally do my purpose discovery workshop for a whole day. So churches would call me and they'll, I would do it for a whole day. And I met this woman. She had been painting since she was a child. And one of the teachers who really helped her and mentored her in that painting, died when she was 11. Do you know that the moment that teacher died, every other voice around her were negative about that painting? They told her, who makes money painting? What rubbish? Get a normal job. Do what other normal people do. And guess what this woman did? She listened to them. Now she's 40. At that time, when I did that was 2018, she was 40-something. Never painted since 11. Literally silenced our purpose, silenced our gift. People silenced it. And I told her, I said, ma'am, you've got to go back to it. She said she has never felt fulfilled since then. Never felt fulfilled. Somebody watching us right now, listen, they've silenced your gift enough. You need to go back to your childhood memory and begin. Please do me a favor, go back and begin to live that life of purpose. Because of time, the next place to look is to look forward. See, every human being has a vision of the ideal self, or should I say most human beings. I'm talking about the dream of your future, that thing you want to be. And right now, that thing never goes away. Even though you've been trying to pack it, no, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be a pastor. I don't want to be a pilot. I don't want to be that. No. You've been trying to shelve it away because you think it's too hard to become one. Or who makes money doing it? I remember going to preach at a place in Tasmania, Australia, and I met a woman, and she just enjoyed cooking. She enjoyed cooking, but people have told her because she's a migrant that she's got to study nursing so that she can get job security. And because of that, she wanted to do nursing. In fact, she had collected the form before I got to their church to speak that day. And when we were done, she said, man of God, you're speaking to me. I said, yes, I'm speaking to you. I said, woman, go and take a form for chef. It's for chef. And be a chef. And learn everything. What I did not know was that woman, she owned a restaurant in Africa, and she was doing very well. But because of situations, they migrated, and people told her to go and do nursing. Listen, maybe you too, you became a nurse because of what people said, because of societal pressures and parental pressure. Listen, like where we started from, remember, Derek, your parents do not determine your success. Only your source determines your. So we talked about look up, look within, look down, look around, look back, and look forward. Those are the 6 places to look. If you try any of those 6, and you pay attention to the patterns of the things you're discovering, in fact, throughout the 6, I've shared my story across the 6, in my little way because of our time, you would notice that there is something that is calling out your name. And if you prayerfully go about it, you can even hire me as a coach. If you're watching this right now, you can afford my coaching. You can hire me as your coach. And we will sit down together and watch those patterns. And God will help you find that exact thing that you're supposed to be doing with your life. I hope that helps, Ted.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. That was absolutely
it's God.
And For everybody who is watching, and I want you to really grasp this because it is so, so important. Your purpose is not only the foundation of your life, but it is the purpose to lead to your fulfillment. And that
Yeah.
is the most amazing thing. That is why it's so important for us all to know what our purpose is in life so that we have that fulfillment, so that we are not having regrets. And
Mm-hmm.
I had this imagery of you don't want to be having that imagery where you are at the last hour, that last minute before you're about to go into glory. And
Mm.
every single dream, every single idea,
Mm.
every single recipe, every single artwork design that you were supposed to bring to life is
You
standing around
don't.
you, coming to you, and asking you, we came to you, and we didn't
What did you do?
to life.
Mm.
That is something I just want to, but that is absolutely amazing. And that moves us even to the next question that is so, so important. We've had a look at some of the benefits and we've had a look at some of as to why it's so important
Mm.
to find
Mm-hmm.
our purpose. And so I want us to connect that now into that essence of potential, that
Yeah.
importance of what potential is. We know how important purpose is, and we've
Mm.
even touched a little bit about it, but we want to now focus a little bit more on that essence of potential. And
Yeah.
so I wanted to ask,
Mm.
what is potential, and what is that power in which takes that forward for people?
Praise God. Thank you. Thank you. That's a powerful question. See, purpose is why you're here. Potential is what you must do while you're here.
Mm, mm,
Purpose is why you are here on earth. Potential are the things you must do while you're alive. And this is so important because if you don't know what you are born to do, you will do the wrong things.
mm,
So I put a post up on Facebook on social media this week. I said, don't do good things at the expense of the right thing
mm,
or the right things. Many people are doing good things, but they are not doing the right thing. You know, I'm a lecturer, okay, and I love to give students assignments. And this will help somebody on this topic of potential. Let me actually share a story, okay? So I used to have a student named Henry, Derek. Henry was a 55-year-old man. At that time, he was like the age of my father when I was teaching him. And every time I gave an assignment, right, to my students, so there was this particular course he was taking, and that course had the first 5 assignments, preliminary assignments. Each of them was 5 marks, okay? So I would normally give the assignment after my lecture. So the first week I gave the assignment out, and Henry would run to my office. Henry would say, Samuel, no, you're not supposed to give that question that way. You're supposed to give it this way, and give it that way, and give it this way, and give it this way. So when he's done, I'll say, no problem. Go and do it your own way. So Henry will go and do it his own way, the way he thought it's right to be done. Guess what I would do? I give him 0. I didn't even give him 1 over 5. I gave him 0. So second week, he did the same. I gave them the question, the requirements of the assignment, and then he went away. And he followed me again to the office immediately after class. I said, no, Samuel, you're not supposed to give the question this way. You're supposed to give it like this. You're supposed to give it like this. I said, Henry, no problem. Just do it your own way. And Henry went and did it his own way. I gave him 0 again. I gave Henry 0 up until the 4th week.
wow.
He was doing the same thing for 4 weeks straight. Until the 5th week, so he was getting 0, 0, 0 mark, and he kept on arguing. Until the 5th week, Henry followed me to my office. I thought he was going to do the same usual stuff. All right. Literally, he from the stairs, he would already be telling me about that assignment. You're not supposed to give it like this and this and this. So that last week of the 5 weeks, Henry came to my office and he said, Sam, I just realized something. I said, what? He said, I'm not supposed to be arguing with my lecturer, right? I looked him in the eye. I said, Henry, I think so. Henry went away that day, never argued with the assignment, did the assignment as exactly how I gave him to do, and I gave Henry 5 over 5. The thing is, your potential is the assignment that you were given to do here on earth. All of them, see, we are given multiple assignments within our purpose. All of them have requirements of your lecturer, which is God.
Mm.
So he alone marks your life based on the requirements of your assignments. Many people are living their lives arguing with their lecturer, God. They have decided to do life their own way. No, God. I mean, how can you tell me to be a pastor? No. How can you tell me to be a medical doctor? No. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be. How can you tell me to be a chef? No. I'm going to be a medical doctor instead. God will say, okay, no problem. Go and do it your own way. Because at the end of the day, like you said, at the end of our lives, the lecturer will stand with the roll call and the assignment marks, and he will say, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? Did you do that? And if you didn't, get a 0. And that was what happened in the book of Matthew chapter 25. The parable of the talents. The master went away, gave to one 5, gave to another one 2. I love the words of Romans chapter 12 verse 6. He said, each of us have been graced. We have been given grace according to the measure with which we can take. Right? 5 talents, 2, and then 1. And guess what? The master will come back and inquire about what you did in those gifts. And there's something about potential. Potential is not about what you have done. Potential is about what you are yet to do. That's why I said life, your purpose comes in assignment. So even if you finish one assignment, there's still more as long as you are alive. So this is why we must work with God so that he can reveal the next step and the next step. That's why the Bible says that the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. God reveals his plans to us in steps. And as we trust him, he shows you the next step and the next step. And that's why the Bible says the just shall live by faith. Literally, you are living by faith, by the faith of the next step and the next step and the next step. And if you would follow God through every step of the way in your life, you maximize your potential. Listen, there's one thing I need to say before I finish this question. The graveyard is the richest place on earth. Because there are many people who did life without knowing anything about their potential. Many people who died with their song unsung. Many people who died with many business ideas that God put inside of them that never saw the light of day. Many people who died and they were speakers, they were supposed to be speakers like me, but they ended up working in banks and died ordinary. Many people who were supposed to be preachers of the word of God, powerful preachers, who ended up in oil companies. And the devil caged them with money. Listen, your potential is not what you have done. Your potential is what you are yet to do. And as long as you're alive, that's why I love the words of the Bible. It says creation awaits the manifestation of the sons of God. The meaning of that is there is something about you that must still manifest. There is a lot about you that the world has not seen yet. There's so much about you. That's why the Bible says eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. It has not come to the heart of man what God has in store. I hope that helps somebody.
Wow. That is absolutely amazing. Wow.
Thanks God.
I hope that everybody is definitely getting something out of this, and this is fantastic. It all comes up to the next thing about now we know the differences. Now, how do we connect these two together? You know, a lot of people have been asking. Of course, now you know what the difference is. If you do not yet know what the difference is between your purpose and your potential, please get in contact with this great man. He will definitely not only give you the resources, but he will also guide you towards that, because it's so important that we know what the difference is. But I want us to now know exactly how do we connect these two together? How do you connect your purpose and your potential?
Wow. Derek, see, the key to life is understanding life. That's why the Bible says that if it costs you all you have, get understanding. All these things we are sharing today in this one video, they are things that helps you to understand life. Literally, life is a story of going from mystery to mastery. People who make it in life are people who go from the mystery. Life is a mystery. Right? We don't understand how we enter into our parents' womb. Our parents, into our mother's wombs, right? We don't understand all these things. We don't understand how water gets, into the coconut. There's so many things we don't understand about life. But guess what? The day we get understanding about some things in life, we become a master of life. And listen, you can never maximize your potentials in life until you master life. In fact, the gap between mystery and mastery is understanding.
Wow.
So what you have just shared right now, how do we connect both? Is to understand how to move from mystery to mastery.
Wow.
Discover your purpose. That's the beginning. The day you discover your purpose, and then you now work every day in the understanding of that purpose, doing all the things that you were called to do, fulfilling your assignment. And as you continue to do that, you begin to journey from mystery to mastery. And guess what, Derek? One thing I have come to realize is people only pay masters. That's why we call some people authority. I need to read the scripture to you. This will change your life. Derek. Jeremiah chapter 5. And somebody watching us right now, this will change your life forever. To connect the two, right? That's the question. Hear this. I'm going to read from verse 4. Then I said, but what can we expect from the poor? That's a question. They are ignorant. They don't know the ways of the Lord. They don't understand God's laws. Verse 5, hear this. So I will go and speak to their leaders. Surely they know the ways of the Lord and understand God's laws. You know the meaning of that? Poor people. Any area of life where you are poor, I'm not just talking about financially poor. Any area of life where you are poor is because you lack understanding of God's ways and God's laws about that area of life.
Wow.
The day you gain an understanding of his ways and his laws, you begin to maximize your potentials in that area of life. That's why he says, but what can we expect from poor? See, the reason why nobody expects anything from you right now in your life is because you are still poor. But I'm not talking about financially poor. You have no idea of your purpose. You have no idea of your potential. You have no idea of your value. You have no idea of your worth. You have no impact, no influence. So nobody's expecting anything from you. Nobody expects anything from the poor. Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 4. Read it yourself again and please pay attention. And please do me a favor. Meditate on it. Sit down on that scripture. He said, but what can we expect from the poor? They are ignorant. The worst way to live life is to live it ignorant. That's why I love the words of the late Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. He would often say the greatest enemy of man is not Satan. In fact, it's not sin. It is ignorance. He says, listen, he said they are ignorant. They don't know the ways of the Lord. They don't understand God's laws. See, the day you know ways and laws, you'll be able to connect your purpose and potential, and then you become a person of value. You become a person of significance. You become a person of influence. Your influence will transcend generations. You'll be long dead and gone, and people will still be buying your books, watching your tapes, watching your videos, literally doing as if you are still alive.
Wow.
This is how you connect it to. You know the ways. You know the laws, and you begin to do it and use them every single day to add value to people.
Wow.
I always say this. The fastest way to wealth is adding value to people. Fastest way to wealth. Fastest way to influence is serving people with your gifts and your purpose. That's the fastest way. If you do every day, serve people, add value to people with your gifts and your purpose, what you're born to do, I tell you, it's only a matter of time. In fact, you will be long dead and gone, and everything you've done will still be speaking on your behalf.
Wow.
Listen, the root cause of poverty is when people don't know what to come to you for. And like I said, poverty is not just when you lack money. There are people who have money and they are still poor. Relationally poor, emotionally poor, emotionally bankrupt. Every area of life where you have not gone from mystery to mastery, you are poor. When you don't understand the ways and the laws, you remain poor. I hope that has helped somebody.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And
praise God.
Now we have the steps. We definitely have the steps that we need to take in order to ensure that we are on that right track. We are making sure that we are activating that potential that we have. And it's through ensuring that we get rid of the ignorance that is within us, filling that with understanding, getting understanding, no matter what we have, to seek understanding. Wow, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. I have our final question for tonight, and this one is this is definitely something which I feel will tie everything up, and that is, what are the keys to maximizing one's potential? What are the keys? What are some of the things in which, because I know that in everything, everybody wants to, maximize whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
We've understood what it takes. We know how to at least release it, but now how do we maximize the potential that we have? What are the keys to maximizing our potential?
The keys are very, very simple. We've talked about understanding the ways and the laws of God. See, God has created the world in such a way that everything operates by law. Aristotle in 300 BC said that there is literally nothing that happens without a cause. So life is literally cause and effect, not curse, but cause and effect. Everything you see happening right now is because of something that somebody did. So when you see somebody maximizing their potentials, what are some of the things that they did? They know some laws, laws of success. Right? And if you know those laws too, you succeed. So one of the keys to maximizing your potential is to begin to study law. Study the laws of God. Study the ways of God. What are God's own principles for success? Number 2, there are 5 convictions you must have. Because of time, I will not go too deep into them. We talked about some of them already. Number 1, you must have a conviction about your source. You see, when you know your source, you never lack resources. But it is because you don't know your source, that's why you're always clamoring for resources. In other words, have a relationship with your God. That's what it means. Any river that does not know its source will dry up. If you see this light that we have now, if the main source gets switched off, this light will die. No matter how powerful and no matter the megawatts in them, it will die. This whole place will go in darkness. The same thing. Next thing you must have conviction about, you must have conviction of your identity. You must know who you are. So you've known your source, which is God, your God. See, one of the most powerful things about combining your identity with your source is the fact that you know whose you are. And when you know whose you are, oh my God, nothing can stand against you. Nothing can hold you back. When you know you are made in the image of God and in His likeness, oh my, you will tread some grounds like a champion. You will be fearless. You will be full of courage. That's why God was telling Joshua the other day. He said, be strong and be courageous. Because when you have your source backing up who you are, you live life fearlessly. And you maximize your potential. Another conviction you must have a conviction of your purpose. Why are you here? When you have that conviction, you will live life with so much impetus and audacity and confidence. Okay. Another conviction you must have is the conviction of your potential. What are the gifts that you have? What are the things that you are sent to do? For instance, myself, I'm extremely aware of my potential. Extremely aware. And it has become a recipe for confidence, a recipe for worth and value, of self-worth and self-value. Why? Because I know very much well that if I stand in front of a camera and I begin to speak, nations must listen to me. What are you aware of about yourself? What conviction do you have about yourself? Oh my God. Let me quickly give you an example. Remember David in the Bible? There was this whole army of Israel. And one man, because he was a giant, ordinary giant, was threatening the whole army of Israel, a whole nation. People, these are armies of people who are trained at war. But one man knew, he had a conviction of his source, of his identity, of his purpose, of his potential. And this man marched to the battleground. In fact, he was supposed to deliver lunch. But when he got to the lunch, and he saw, and when he got to the battleground to deliver the lunch, and he saw one single human being, like literally terrifying a whole army, David said, is this for you? Like, one man is threatening all you people. David was not trained for war. He was not a soldier. Please remember that. David said, this guy, I will kill him. What is the present, the gift, if I kill this man? See, only someone with conviction speaks like that, Derek.
Yes.
Only someone who is sure of who they are, their purpose, their identity, talks like that. And David said, I will feed your heads to the birds of the air. He literally walked to the king and said, King, I will kill this guy. And that was like the last conviction you must have. You must have a conviction of where you're going. The worst way to go on any journey is to not know your destination. In fact, even the GPS will not help you. Because the very first question the GPS will ask you, where are you going? The GPS can help you where you are, but it can't help you where you're going. You must punch in where you are going.
Yes.
This is why I always advise people and my mentees and my coaching clients, one prayer you must always ask God, Father, where are you taking me? Show me where you are taking me. When you have a conviction of your vision, because that's vision. When you have a conviction of where God is taking you, you walk straight. You walk straight. Your life has direction. Your life has assurance. Praise God.
Wow.
I hope that helps.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
Praise God.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. That was absolutely power-packed and such an amazing talk. Please, guys, if you have not yet, and I'm telling you, if you have not yet seen this great man in action, please, we're going to give you guys the opportunity to check him out. Like I said, if you want to find him on the socials, it is at Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. You can find him on Instagram. You can also find him on Facebook and on Twitter. Please do check him out, and do also check out his amazing content on YouTube at Dr. Samuel Ekundayo. Dr. Sam, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Derek.
It's a privilege to have you. And for everybody, we will hopefully have this amazing man back again for another session. We are praying and hoping that he will have the time for us as he has today. We are very, very thankful. So thank you so much for your time. And guys,
thank you, Derek.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, why don't you leave a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe.